Change Lives for Good with your host, Greg Kepferle.
We have all heard the stories that if a child doesn't learn to read at grade level by third grade, that child is more likely to drop out of school before the end of high school, and thus is condemned to a life in poverty. But there's another story, a story of some wonderful young teachers in East San Jose who are making a difference in the lives of these children, who are truly changing lives for good. Hello, I'm Greg Kepferle. I'm CEO of Catholic Charities of Santa Clara County and your host for Change Lives for Good. And with me today are two of these wonderful people who are actually changing these lives of children in East San Jose. But before we hear their story and engage in conversation with them, I want to call your attention to one young man, a former student from our choral after-school program.
I was actually initially rejected to the program because my reading standards were pretty good. But slowly my mom couldn't help me anymore and my reading score started going down. And so once we did our application again, they noticed that there was really a need for me to be in the program. So, and I also could help the other students. So they got me into the program and I really got that help, that one-on-one and that mentoring part as well. They were your friend, your teacher, everything all in one. I think the value of doing an after-school program is kind of, you learn things during the school day, and then when you're in the after-school program, it kind of gets reinforced because you're trying to process it during school because they're throwing things at you, and it's really hard to process it when it's so many things at once. And then once you're in the after-school program, everything gets reinforced and you learn it a lot better. And especially with reading skills, I mean, there's 30 students in the classroom, so you never get that one-on-one. But in choral, they have volunteers where if you really need that one-on-one, you're gonna get the one-on-one. I would have been left out in the education system, and I think that happens so much right now, especially because, like I said, there's so many students in the classroom. I always noticed a lot of my peers, their reading scores were a lot lower than those of us that were in the after-school program. Their parents aren't native to this country, so some of them don't even know how to speak it or even write the language. And so when you have this after-school program, it's like having a parent, because you're going to the after-school program every day for 5 days a week. So it's like having that parent after school. And so I noticed a couple kids, their STAR tests were going down really bad. And the kids were, they were getting involved in things they weren't supposed to, and they were leaving campus, and well, those kids were doing bad. And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start a little club for them and give them that extra hope. And so I just gave them worksheets and stuff, and I would have them ask me questions about their homework. And so by the end of the year, when they took their STAR test, their scores started growing, and then we just noticed that the kids really got a help out from that. And that's when my first experience with the choral program, actually giving back to them, when that really happened. If I talk to my own 7-year-old self, I think I would tell him that I've grown a lot. I never wanted to go to college. I never knew what college was. I never knew what sophomore, whatever college was. People would always talk about Santa Clara, San Jose State. I was like, what is this? And so I think it would just be telling myself to not stop and keep going. I noticed that when I was in choral, I mean, I saw these people with getting their masters, and my director getting her I think she got her master's at San Jose State. I was like, oh, she got a degree, I want to get one too. I would say thank you for throwing me in the program, even though I didn't want to. I would say thank you for yelling at me. Thank you for making me read that book that I didn't want to read. I would say thank you for not giving up, because if you give up on a kid, then it's giving up on a doctor, because that kid maybe wants to be a doctor someday.
Thank you for not giving up. And here are two people that don't give up at all. With me today are Daniel Aguilar and Paula Laura. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
They're both site managers at Coral's after-school program that Catholic Charities runs in East San Jose and in some San Jose schools. So, Daniel, first, tell us, what is Coral? What does that stand for, and what is its mission?
Right. Well, Coral is an acronym for Communities Organizing Resources to Advance Learning, and we provide after-school services in every Franklin McKinley School District school, as well as 3 schools in San Jose Unified School District. And we provide services every day, Monday through Friday, until 6 o'clock.
So what makes Coral different from other after-school programs?
Cora is very different. We are an academic program. We are not like your typical enrichment program. We help students that are reading at far below basic and basic. So we try to encourage those students to join the program and help them a little bit more to get them to read grade level. And also, we, aside from doing literacy, we do enrichment, we do homework, and we get the kids out of their little comfort zone other than being at school.
So when you say you get them out of their comfort zone, what are some of the things that you do in terms of the literacy development and enrichment?
Right. Well, every day we do provide 90 minutes of balanced literacy, which includes a read aloud, a thinking map, shout out, journaling, and independent reading. But aside from that, we also provide homework help and enrichment activities such as soccer, sports leagues, drama, and cheerleading.
So when you say the read aloud and the shout out and this balanced literacy, these are really technical terms. So maybe for someone that doesn't know what this means, maybe tell us a little bit about what each of these elements are.
Well, balanced literacy is composed of 5 components, like you said. Read aloud is the instructor is reading a book. We all for Coral we have themes every month, from heroes to Coral moves, and so each week they're learning about that. So read aloud is reading a book from that unit, and then they go with a shout out. So they get a question asked about what they just read, and then we use a thinking map with the shout out, and gets the kids to really think about what they just read. So we use thinking maps, and there's like 9 different thinking maps that they use. We try to switch it every book that they get to read for that week, and then we go into our writing. So the kids get to choose we give them a topic and about what they just read, and they write for 15 minutes. And we have a word works, a game or activity also connects to the book they just read, and then they have independent reading, which is each children gets tested by our core instructors of what level they are reading at, and so that gives us a chance to track their improvement. We have books from kinder all the way to 8th grade, so our goal is for kids to at least try to move up out of the 180 days that we serve them.
So this sounds really intensive. So if I were a kid and have just gone through a full day of school, and now I'm coming into the Coral after school program, and I'm into 90 days or 90 minutes of intensive literacy plus enrichment, that's got to make an incredible difference. So what are you seeing the difference being?
We see it in our literacy rates, actually. We recently, a couple years ago, had the University of Notre Dame come out, and what we did was they analyzed the students that came to Coral and those students that did not come to Coral, and the reading levels they were at. And those students that came to Coral were actually reading, they grew twice as fast as those other students that did not come to Coral.
Twice as fast. So
twice as fast.
Catholic Charities after school program has proven results from an independent evaluator that shows that the students that you're teaching and that your teachers are teaching are learning, are growing in their literacy capacity at twice the rate of other children not in the program. That is amazing. That is really phenomenal.
Yeah.
Good job.
And our students are leveled 4 times throughout the school year.
So you have them keep going each quarter, evaluating them along the way.
Exactly. Yes.
And that helps our instructors see if the kid isn't improving. What's other steps that they need to take to help that child understand vocabulary or kind of comprehend what they're reading. So it really helps also the instructors trying to motivate that student to continue moving on up.
Right. So, okay, so I'm a parent, and I want my kid to come to Catholic Charities after school program. Why would I choose Catholic Charities after school program versus some other program?
Well, like Paula said, we are a literacy program, which other after school providers do not provide. They're typically enrichment only or homework help, while we provide literacy, enrichment, homework help, and provide a snack to students until 6 o'clock every day. And so I think that's why it really appeals to a lot of parents.
So if I were a child, why would I want to come to Coral rather than hang out on the streets?
It gives them a great opportunity to continue with school, and then we also motivate them to know that there's a great opportunity to go to finishing high school, college, going into college. With all of our instructors are mostly in college, they also get those kids motivated, and also we also do plenty of different activities like clubs. We have game show clubs, we have garden club. So it's really different than what they usually do in school. So a lot of kids do see it when they walk around the campus and see the kids really motivated on something they're doing, and they end up wanting to join. So we always have a waiting list of students, of probably 50 to 100 kids on the waiting list, because they hear from friends during school like, oh, we're going to do this in Coral, we're going to go to this field trip. And it really motivates a lot of kids to want to join and be part of it.
That's really exciting. So from the kids' perspective, it's fun, they're engaged, they're motivated, they have this opportunity to learn and be with friends and also be safe too, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's the other part of it. So if I were a principal or a school administrator, why would I want Coral after school program in my school?
Well, if your student does come to Coral, they are more likely to come to school every day, which is very important to principals because they do want their students to be coming to school every day. And those students that do come to Coral are more likely to be coming to school Monday through Friday. And we also help with reading as well, which the principals enjoy, and provide a safe place for their students after school.
So it's improving the daily attendance, it's helping with reading, which means that their literacy scores go up and the school scores go up, right? Yes. And the children stay safe, which is really the value both of parents and the teachers, which is really fantastic. Yes. So this is amazing. So Catholic Charities After School Program, Coral, Communities Organizing Resources to Advance Learning, here in San Jose, really is changing lives for good. And we'll get back to our guests, Daniel Aguilar and Paula Laura, in a minute when we hear more from Changing Lives for Good.
Every child needs to learn, to play, and to experience new things in a safe, attentive environment. That's how they grow into successful adults, and that's what our Coral program does. The mission of Coral is to improve the academic achievement of young people through out-of-school programs by involving students, families, schools, and community-based organizations. The Coral After School program endeavors to close the achievement gap through intensive literacy instruction and engaging standards-based enrichment. Coral focuses on various areas of support: literacy, homework, enrichment, and physical activity. Coral serves over 3,500 students in 22 schools. Coral implements the best literacy practices of the balanced literacy model. Lessons have been created and approved by the certified teachers using thinking maps and are aligned to California state standards. Lessons are implemented by an instructor for a total of 1 hour each day. Literacy isn't all that Coral provides. Staff also offers homework support, student enrichment programs, and physical activity. All Coral students focus on 3 different elements during their hour of additional literacy studies. Read aloud, including vocabulary development, questioning techniques, and connection-making opportunities such as text-to-self, text-to-text, and text-to-world. Shout out, incorporating story comprehension and lively discussions facilitated by the use of the thinking maps. Independent reading, utilizing the American Reading Company's 100 Book Challenge, a research-proven reading program that provides the framework for individualized reading instruction and which integrates the Common Core standards. Every child reads books at their own independent reading level and progresses through each as their reading skills are developing. Instructors oversee and guide student reading 5 days a week, while children read books independently for approximately 30 minutes. making sure that homework is underway or in some cases completed before the child leaves the choral program for the day. Choral homework participation is monitored, and completion logs are shared and maintained weekly with parents and school staff. Not forgetting how important physical activity and fun are to growing minds, choral students participate in engaging standards-based enrichment curriculum. Sports leagues have been developed in partnership with the support of schools, parents, staff, and sponsors. Instructors engage students in 30 minutes of physical activities 5 days a week to promote exercise, health, nutrition, and wellness. Knowing how essential measured success is, choral continually evaluates student progress and program effectiveness. Student data is compiled using California standards tests and through the American Reading Company's 100-book challenge leveling system. Program assessment is continuous through the use of the California After-School Program Quality Assessment Tool, Choral Literacy Observation Tool, principal, student, parent, and staff surveys. Educators and researchers have proven that parents are key to helping children grow into successful adults. That's why the choral program doesn't forget the family. At Choral, we know that changing a child's life for good requires more than just literacy, homework, enrichment, and physical activity. It also requires the family. In Choral, parents are valued participants, not silent partners. They regularly volunteer with enrichment activities. Parents work with mentors and teachers to help them assess their children's needs. One of Choral's most important parent benefits is the parenting workshop. These 8-week classes teach parents how to support their children in school, communicate more effectively, and implement positive discipline. In addition to the workshop meetings, families take part in recreational activities and ongoing monthly support groups. Classes are offered several times a year in English, Vietnamese, and Spanish. None of the amazing success that Choral has enjoyed would be possible without the support of the community. The Franklin McKinley Children's Initiative, involving 50 partnering agencies, community members, and elected officials, are part of the foundation for which Choral is built. The Choral After School program gives children the excitement of achievement today and hope for successful tomorrows, empowering them to make smart choices in all areas of their lives.
Catholic Charities works to end poverty by helping families and individuals get the tools they need to become more self-reliant. It offers a hand up rather than a handout through a wide range of services and serves more than 41,000 people each year of all cultures and beliefs.
Hello and welcome back to Change Lives for Good. I'm your host, Greg Kepferle, CEO of Catholic Charities of Santa Clara County. And with me are Daniel Aguilar and Paula Laura, who are site managers at Catholic Charities after school program called Choral, working in East San Jose and in San Jose. And we've talked a little bit about how Choral works and the process for the after school program. Tell me a little bit more about, you were talking about leveling earlier, and so how are the students measured? How do we actually measure success?
So we use the 100-book challenge system that we've been using for the past 10 years. And what helps is we have different color of book bins, and each color identifies a grade. So we test our children out at the very beginning when we get them in the school year. And that's how we identify where they're starting at. And throughout the year, like Daniel said, we test them 4 quarters. So we see the improvement, if they're improving or they need that extra help. So by using the color books, that's how we monitor them if they're doing improvement or helping out.
Wonderful. And so you're seeing actual improvement. As you mentioned before, the students in the Choral program are advancing in literacy at twice the rate of students not in the program. And so you can measure that objectively each quarter as you go along. But then you're also seeing these kids over a period of time. So it's not just 1 year, they may be in the program for several years, right?
Correct.
So you see that. But then there are other children that maybe aren't in Choral, that may be a little bit older, that want to help. You have a way of encouraging other students to help, or volunteers?
Yes, so we have, we don't serve our 5th and 6th grade students at certain school sites. So what some of us do are we have them involved in the program by being Choral helpers. So there's mentors for our younger youth from 1st to 4th grade. They are assigned to an instructor. They help them out. They get them, most of the kids are proficient, our choral helpers, so they get to sit one-on-one with that student that needs that little extra help, and they also, you know, bring their creativity to each group. So, for example, I have a student that loves the art, drawing. So on Friday, she had the group doing an art contest. So they really get involved. They become an instructor, and a lot of these kids end up wanting to be part of choral.
Oh, that's wonderful. So that builds their sense of responsibility, giving back, and a sense of confidence that they can help the younger children.
Exactly. Yes.
You know, that's really terrific. So, what's new with choral? I'm hearing there's some new things happening with choral. Daniel?
Well, we just wrapped up our second summer of STEM summer program, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. And what we did there was from 8 to 2, Monday through Friday this summer. Students got to come in and work on projects that they typically don't get to work on during the school year. Building catapults, using a magnifying glasses and other things like that. And just providing opportunities that students typically don't get during the school year.
So basically it sounds like choral is expanding from a focus on literacy and expanding that into the sciences and into math, which is critically needed, especially within the communities that we're serving. Is that correct?
Right, correct. Typically the communities we work in are low income, and so we really want the students to be able to graduate high school and graduate college and be competitive once they get out of college.
Right, so that whole desire to help the children go all the way through college, at the end of the day, what are you really trying to do with choral? How is it making a difference in reducing poverty in the Valley?
Well, we're beginning with education in the household, and by doing that, we're hoping to cut poverty in some of the neighborhoods we work in, and it all starts with education, and getting these kids graduating high school, graduating college, and breaking that cycle that a lot of our students are in, and in the neighborhoods they're in, and graduating college and becoming productive members of society.
And that is so critical. So this is core at disrupting that cycle of poverty.
Correct.
So for you to do this, you've got to have some incredible dedication and motivation yourselves to motivate these young children to learn. So what's happened in your own lives that brought you to this point? Why are you so focused on changing these lives? I'm going to start with you, Daniel.
Well, I'm focused on it because it's helping the community. These students that typically would get out of school and then go out on the streets doing things they probably shouldn't be or getting into trouble. We're helping the communities as well by keeping these kids in a safe place, an educational place, and just really helping improve the quality of life within these communities.
So why is that important for you to do?
It's important because you see the change, especially after doing it for so long. I've been doing this for 7 years now, and you start to see the change in the communities, and you see the change in perspective and attitudes in these communities, especially with the children, and so it's really rewarding to see.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, thank you. That's great. So, Paula, you had some struggles as you were growing up in school, and you know, there's some stories there that you have to say. What is it that motivated you to do this?
I could relate so much to all my students that I've worked with. Myself, as English being my second language, I had difficulty reading and understanding what I was reading, so comprehending. So it was a struggle through elementary school, and being let down and put down by teachers. It was
so teachers
really
put you down. So
yes.
What happened?
I remember being in 4th grade, not being able to say a certain word, and teacher getting frustrated with me and letting me know I would never get anywhere because I didn't know how to read, and really putting me out there in front of the class. So it really brought me down my self-esteem of not wanting to even care about school anymore. But later through life, I just had to, pick myself up and say, there's no teacher going to tell me to be successful in life or not.
So what was that turnaround for you like?
I think that it was a big turnaround for me because I was more into school. I never thought of going to college because it wasn't for me. I like I said, I ended up kind of hating school, and just seeing that there's no reason. Education is really important. So I need to focus on that and nothing else, because that's, like my father always said, that's the only thing I ask you to do is education. So with that, that's why I am so passionate of what I do, and tell these kids that education is important, and there's no word as cannot do it, because everybody could do it.
So from that experience in 4th grade, where a teacher said, no, you can't, to now where you say, there's no such word as can't. I can't do it. What do you tell your teachers?
Look at me now. I am helping the youth now become, even though they're not reading at grade level, but that doesn't stop them, and they are going to become somebody in life, no matter what.
You are amazing. You are really changing lives for good. You've changed your own life for good, and that's a great testimony and a great witness that by your own role modeling, that you can turn your lives around, and in turn, you're helping other children. Who you once were. You're giving them that opportunity to say, yes, I can do it. I can change my life for good. Which is really amazing. So thank you so much. With me today have been Daniel Aguilar and Paula Laura, amazing site managers at Catholic Charities after-school program called Coral, Communities Organizing Resources to Advance Learning. And through Coral, we are truly changing lives for good. And here are 2 change makers who are making that happen. And I encourage people that are interested in volunteering for Coral or interested in learning more about it to come to Catholic Charities website, www.catholiccharitieссcc.org, and you too can learn how you can change lives for good. This is Greg Kepferle, CEO of Catholic Charities of Santa Clara County, your host for Change Lives for Good. And until next time, remember to speak up, reach out, and change lives for good.